Do you know that if you have 3 million naira sitting in your bank account right now, you can actually buy a house? Yes, I know, even in this economy. And in today's video, I have a real estate guru here with me to teach you exactly how you can do that. He's none other than a real estate guru, Mr. Bamidele Adewole, who is the CEO of P1 Stars. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Very happy to be here with you today.
Yes, I'm so glad that you're here as well. Like I said, we're going to be talking about how to invest in real estate, right? So for someone who has, say, 3 million naira in their bank account, but they want to invest their money, how can they buy a home? Because I heard that this is possible. How can they buy a home with that amount?
Well, it is very, very possible. As difficult and as unreal as it may sound, it is extremely very possible to invest in real estate, in a property, in a home with just 3 million naira. And I'll tell you how to do that. There are several ways, but the first way you can do that is through mortgages. Now, we have a mortgage system in Nigeria. Even though the mortgages in Nigeria are quite expensive given our interest rate regime, right? But with working with a company like ours, for instance, P1 Stars, we could assist you to get affordable mortgages, right? But the truth of the matter is that those affordable mortgages are not available to everybody. So you have to meet certain criteria before you can actually access affordable mortgages in Nigeria.
So how would you advise someone who's maybe a novice and has never gotten a mortgage before to go about getting one?
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to ask the person is this. Do you have the funds to pay over 25%, 30%, in some cases even more than 30% interest rates? If you don't have those funds, right, I would then ask you to then find out if you qualify for what is called the NHF mortgage scheme. NHF stands for National Housing Fund, and it's a fund created by the government, administered by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Now, the whole idea is to provide concessionary funding to, I would say, lower income to sort of lower middle class people who can't afford to pay cash for homes, right? So if you can't afford to pay 25%, 30%, which is quite high for a mortgage, right? You can access the NHF fund through certain means. There are ways you can go about it. If you qualify for it, you can talk to us and we'll put you through on how to go about that.
If I get you correctly, you're saying if for someone who has 3 million in their bank account, one way is mortgage, and you can access the NHF fund or mortgage plan, and you'd be able to own a home even though you don't have so much money. Now, if someone wanted to pursue that, what are the steps that they need to take in order to buy a home or get a home?
One of the things that they need to do is, first of all, they should come to us to tell us that they have or indicate an interest in purchasing a home through the NHF plan, right? And the first thing we'll do is that we'll refer them to our mortgage partner. So we have a couple of firms that we partner with when it comes to mortgages. We'll refer them to that firm. That firm will first of all screen them, find out if they're eligible to qualify for that facility, and if they are eligible, they will then ask them for documentation. Upon provision of those documents, they will then take them to the next level, which is to assess the documents, and then they will then be required to pay an equity contribution to us. Now, that equity contribution can be spread over a period of time. So if, for instance, the equity contribution is, say, 12 million naira or 15 million naira, right? You can actually spread that 15 million naira over, say, maybe 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, as the case may be. Once that equity is fully paid off, at that point, if they meet the other criteria for the NHF loan, then the PMI, that's the primary mortgage institution, will then start processing the mortgage facility. Upon approval of the mortgage facility, they have their loan, and if the unit is ready, they can then move in and they continue paying the mortgage over time.
So there are two things you mentioned that caught my attention: documents. You also talked about criteria. So what are the criteria or the things that you look out for to justify whether someone is qualified for the mortgage or not? And what documents do they need to have to qualify?
The first thing is that they have to be adults. So you have to be over the age of 21. And you cannot be a senior citizen, meaning that you cannot be more than 60. So it's between the ages of 21 and 60. That's the first criteria. Second criteria is that you have to be a Nigerian living in Nigeria, right? And the third criteria, which is really I would say all criteria are important, but one of the most important criteria is that you have to have the funds, you have to have the capacity. How do you determine capacity? Your salary must meet the debt to equity threshold. What's that debt to equity threshold? It means that whatever it is that you're paying as a facility must not exceed 33.3% of your total take home. Take home being your gross pay minus taxes, pensions, and any other deductions. It must not exceed 33.3%. Those are the three main criteria.
I'll need you to break down a bit more. Break that down a bit more for the novice who has like all 33% gross, like it's a lot. So can you break that down? Use a scenario if possible. Say I'm earning
100,000 naira.
What kind of property am I eligible to get?
Okay, so if you're earning 100,000 naira a month, right? And say, assuming your taxes is say 10,000 naira, your pension is say 5,000. It means your take home, that's your disposable income in that scenario, is 85,000. So what the primary mortgage institution is going to do is they're going to calculate 33.3% of 85,000. Whatever that figure is the maximum amount that can be deducted from your salary of 85,000. Now, there are other issues around it. For instance, if you have big months, and I know a lot of corporates, the way they pay salaries, you have your regular salary during certain months of the year, and then there are certain months where they pay you maybe a big bonus and all of that. Those big months would be factored into the calculation. Yeah, so it's not just the amount that comes in on a regular basis every month, right? They also factor in other big months, as long as those big salaries or those big bonuses are guaranteed. So they will not factor in non-guaranteed emoluments or benefits to employees. It's only the ones that are guaranteed that will be factored in. So yes, they would take in all of those things, and then that would then determine whether you qualify for the facility or not based on your income.
So how long does it take normally for someone to go through the process and for them to get an approval for mortgage?
It takes approximately 6 months to 1 year. But the truth of the matter is that in some scenarios, in some cases, it could actually take more than 1 year. We've seen cases where it's taken up to 13, 14, 15 months. And we've also seen cases where it's taken just 4 months, 5 months. So there's really no specified or specific time period within which a mortgage, an NHF mortgage, is approved, right? But from experience, I would say most of them are approved within 6 months to 1 year, thereabout.
So I know there are other methods to getting a house, and we'll get to them much later, but what are some of the first steps? Just give me step by step what someone can do, actionable steps right now to get them from where they are right now to owning a home in mortgage.
Actionable steps, first and foremost, the very first thing you need to do is to access your finances. Do you have the equity? Do you have that down payment to make? That's the very first thing. So there's no point thinking of buying a home if you don't have equity, because that's the first thing the mortgage bank is going to ask you for. Once you've discovered and you've confirmed that you do have that equity, the next thing is to then determine if you have enough cash flow in terms of your salary. If your salary is enough, is adequate enough to meet a mortgage, to meet the mortgage requirements, right? The 33.3% that I explained earlier. Because I've seen a number of clients who come to us and they say they want to access mortgages, and I ask them what their salary is and they tell me, oh, it's just 70,000 naira per month or 80,000. They don't qualify for any mortgage whatsoever. So you have to ensure that your salary is enough. I would say something within the range of at least 300,000 naira a month should be enough for you to qualify for most mortgages within the sort of middle income class. That's the next thing that I'll ask you to do. And then after that, I would also say you should check your age, because age is very important. So mortgages are more recommended to the younger people, because the longer time you have to pay your mortgage, the smaller the monthly payments that you're going to make, right? So it's important that you do this while you're still young. Now, I'm not saying if you're in your 50s, you can't access a mortgage. I'm not saying that it's not as convenient as someone who is in their 20s, for instance.
Okay. So you talked about down payments. On an average, how much do you think someone needs as a down payment for a mortgage?
I'll use an example from one of our developments. So we have a property called the Statement Residences, which is located in Ajaya Akpata, Newtown, Shongotedu. We have One bedroom apartments, they're going for approximately 30 million, fully finished. Now, the minimum requirement for our down payment is 30%. So 30% of 30 million is 9 million naira. So what that essentially means is that if you're going for that particular unit with 9 million naira, you actually have enough to make a down payment. And remember that I said you don't have to pay that at once. You don't have to pay the 9 million naira at once. You can actually spread that payment over a period of 3 to 6 months at the very most. So once you do your maths and you find out that you actually have enough money to spread that payment over that period, then you are qualified to access the mortgage. However, like I've said earlier, it's not for everybody. It's only a few select few people that actually meet the requirements for such mortgages in Nigeria.
Okay, so if someone has 3 million naira in their account and they earn a salary of maybe 300,000 naira or above, and they know that they will be able to get 9 million in a space of 6 months, they could actually contact P1 Stars and they will be able to spread out the payment and qualify for a mortgage. Am I correct?
That's correct. Very correct.
So I actually love the idea of mortgage. We know from movies, documentaries, and stories we hear from other people living abroad, most of the people who own homes in countries where things are working, they get their houses through mortgage. But in Nigeria, there is this belief that the mortgage system doesn't really work in your favor. Do you think there's any truth to that? And what advice would you give to someone who is willing to, give this a try in Nigeria?
That's a very interesting question, because I've often said to people in private conversations that the Nigerian mortgage system is not really very friendly because of the rates and also because of the difficulty in accessing the NHF mortgage. So it's really a tough call, and that's why I would advise that you assess your personal circumstances to find out if it's something that is right for you, because it's not the best for everybody. For instance, if you're going for a conventional mortgage and let's assume the interest rate is 20% per annum, what that essentially means is that if you are paying over a period of 5 years, you are literally paying double the price of the units. Now that's very high. So it's not for everybody. Some people can afford it, some people can't afford it, right? Now, if you can't afford it and you also don't qualify for the NHF mortgage, then it simply means mortgages are not for you. You should perhaps try some other means of making payments for a property, even though you don't have enough cash up front.
Now, I love that you said that, because in this video, you have more ideas on how people can get home. So if mortgage is not the thing for you, there are also other alternatives you can use. What is another way that someone can get a home for, having less money in their bank account?
Okay, so the other method through which you can access a home, even if you only have 3 million naira, is through long payment plans. Now, most developers, P1 Stars inclusive, we give opportunities to our subscribers to pay for our off-plan developments. We have quite a number of them. We actually have 3 off-plan developments right now in the market. We give opportunities to these subscribers to pay over a period of up to 18 months. In some cases, we actually allow them pay over up to 24 months. Now, the reason we do that is to make it possible for people who don't have the cash, that large chunk of cash in the bank. So what that essentially means is that if you have 3 million naira, you can start with 3 million naira, pay an equity contribution. If 30% is more than the 3 million, you could pay the balance of the 30% over the 3 million, pay that balance over 6-7 months, and then from the 7th month, you then start paying instrumentally the balance for the units. And like I said earlier, we allow people to spread payments over up to 24 months. In some very special cases, depending on the circumstances, depending on relationships that we have with the clients, depending on volume, we could actually even extend those payment plans beyond 24 months. Although our maximum is between 18 to 24 months.
Okay, have you had any instance or case where someone, took that option to spread their payment and they were not able to maybe meet up the payment and they had to withdraw?
Yes, we do have situations like that. There are certain situations where subscribers can't meet up to payment plans and they have to withdraw. Or in some cases, we are the ones who actually, because I'll give an example. There was a case of a subscriber who was actually struggling to meet up to payments. They paid the first amount, they paid the second amount, but we just noticed that after a period of time, we just weren't hearing from them. So we actually did advise them. We said, look, if you can't afford to do this, it's best you withdraw now, and then when you're ready, you have the funds, it's convenient for you, you can then come back and continue your subscription. And they understood, and they eventually withdrew their subscription and everybody was happy. So yes, there are cases like that where circumstances can change. Perhaps you have an issue with your job, you have an issue with your business or something, maybe some other commitment comes in the way and you just can't continue your subscription. You withdraw, and then you can come back at any time when it's convenient for you.
Are there any sort of structures that have been put in place by P1 Stars to help make it easier for people who want to get their homes but through instrumental payments?
Yes, we try to make it easy. For instance, in our offer letters and our contracts, we allow for subscribers to pay on a flexible basis. So even though we require that you pay, ordinarily you pay every month, you at least pay something. We also make provisions for people who may not be able to pay every month to pay, say, maybe every quarter or every 6 months, depending on your cash flow, because we are fully aware that everybody's cash flow is not the same. Some people receive monthly payments, some people receive quarterly payments, some people receive big bonuses every 4 months, every 5 months. So we like to discuss with our clients on a one-on-one basis. We see our customers as just one person, so we don't see them as a group of people, right? So we like to have personalized conversations with our customers so that we are able to tailor our services to suit their individual needs.
As you're saying all of these things, I'm actually getting very fired up. So for anyone watching who might be feeling like, you know what, this is something I'm interested in and they want to actually follow through, what are some of the steps you think they can take right now to either reach out to you or, just start the process of getting a home that they can pay, spread the payments and pay over time?
It's very simple. What they need to do is to reach out to me. My number is 08055414019. I'll take that again, 08055414019. They can call me directly or they can reach us on any of our social media channels. Our Instagram handle is @P1StarsNG. That's our Instagram and Facebook handle. Or they can simply send us an email to sales@p1stars.com.
That is amazing. So you've covered mortgages, you've also covered instrumental payments. Now, is there any other way that someone can use to get a home even if they don't have so much money?
Absolutely. The third way, which is for me the most exciting way, is through what we call co-investing. So what this essentially means is if you don't have the money to buy into an apartment alone, you could look for a few friends or maybe family members, maybe 3, 4, 5 people, put resources together and co-invest in a property. Let's take, for instance, the property's value is, say, 20 million and you only have 5 million. What that means is that you can get 3 other people, so you make 4 in total, put resources together and jointly own an apartment. Now the good thing about this is that you own an equal stake in that unit and you can sell, you can exit that plan at any point in time. Why? Because you are going to have your own documentation in your name. So what that means is if you need funds urgently for whatever reason, you can decide to take your investment out of that portfolio and then someone else can come in and replace you. The other thing is that if you decide to rent out that unit as a group, the rental proceeds will be shared equally amongst all the unit holders. So if the rental proceeds is, say, maybe 100,000 naira, it means that you'll be getting 25,000 naira the same way every other person will get 25,000 naira as well. So there are so many benefits of co-investments, and we at P1 Stars also offer that product as well.
That's amazing. Like, you could literally have 3 million, 5 million, whatever in your account, and all you need to do is get a couple of friends, family that's willing to invest as well, put your funds together, and you still have documentation to prove that you're the owner.
Absolutely.
And there's no stress in, okay, we're trying to, maybe when you want to liquidate, sell off or something, there's no argument because everybody has their proof of payment. That's amazing. So if someone, I know I'm excited about it, someone is very excited about that option and they want to go into it, what are the action steps they can take today? Very
simple. All they need to do is to reach out to us. I would be very glad to respond to whoever makes inquiries regarding our co-investment options, right? So they can reach out to us, or they can reach out to customer service. They should go to our website. All our contact details are on our website, www.p1stars.com. Just go there, make a call, reach out to us on WhatsApp or any other platforms, any other channels, and we'll be very happy to respond to them. All inquiries will be attended to promptly. We have a same-day policy at P1 Stars. When an inquiry comes in, we try to ensure that we respond same day.
Wow, that is amazing. I'm getting so excited right now. I don't know. Maybe I might be buying a home soon. Maybe you might be buying a home soon. I don't know. It's really, really exciting. Thank you so much, Mr. Bamidele Adewole, for coming on and talking to us about real estate and how we can invest as well.
It's truly been a pleasure being here. I've had so much fun having this discussion with you, and I look forward to you coming to invest with us, and also any other person watching us. I look forward to receiving your subscriptions. I look forward to hearing from you. I can't wait to handhold you and to just guide you and put you through the entire process. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you some other time.
All right, there you have it. 3 amazing ways that you can own a home, even though you have 3 million, 5 million in your bank account right now. Mortgage, you can pay instrumentally, spread out the payments over a period of 24 months. And you can also buy the property with your friends, family as well. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you learned something from this video as well. We have more videos coming up just like this to help you own your own property, your home, your land, whatever you want. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're not already, and turn on the post notifications so that you are informed every time we drop a new video. We're going to be dropping videos once at least every week, and you do not want to miss out on that. We'll talk to you much later. Until then, stay safe. Bye.